Next up, we have Oz. Jonathan will come up. Hi, Jonathan. Will come up and talk about regulation, and he'll take it from here. There are a bunch of conference T-shirt and first row. Please be welcome to, after Jonathan will finish, please be welcome to take one. And thank you very much. Enjoy.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Wow, it's a bit glaring here. My name is Jonathan, and I'm from Singapore. Glad to be in Israel again after quite some time. And I'm going to share with you about what we've been doing. Basically, what we're trying to do is we're trying to create DeFi free zones around the world, starting with the Philippines. And I'll go through about the regulatory hurdles. I'll go through what's the trends going on around the world, and then after that we'll have some Q&A. All right. Okay. So, Wanda, can you move to the next slide? Oh, here? Oh, okay. Sorry. All right. So I got it. So the state of crypto, global crypto regulations, and what it means for you. So right now, you know, the digital asset world is, there's so much noise out there. There's so many regulators, countries, people in the financial sector. They're calling for more regulation, and in some places they're even calling for no crypto, banning crypto, especially places like China. You know, so there's so much noise out there, and there's so many voices, and there's so many opinions. But the general effect of what recently happened with the Luna Terra fiasco is really people calling for more regulations. And this is something that's very much a part of where I come from in Asia. You know, not just the politicians are calling for more regulations, even investors are calling for more regulations. So you know, this is a part that we have to navigate very carefully. So what are the regulatory trends right now? You know, as Ronald Reagan said, if it moves, tax it. If it keeps moving, regulate it. And if it stops moving, subsidize it. So that's what, you know, famous words from the actor president in the United States. And what are the trends? Centralization and control, right? Many governments are looking at centralization and control. Singapore is a very good example where I come from. Previously in 2017, you know, it was open sandbox, welcoming companies. Singapore was like trying to become the crypto capital of the world. And last year, they started bringing in a lot of regulations which caused companies like Binance and Huobi to move out of Singapore. So, you know, overregulation can have an effect that may not necessarily be good for crypto. And then increased regulations, increased taxes. Again, I bring back to my country, Singapore. This year, they started announcing that, sure, you know, crypto, we didn't tax you in the past, but right now we're going to start taxing NFTs. So, you know, there's increased taxes, there's increased monitoring, especially increased monitoring. The requirement by central banks who want access to the centralized exchanges, and they want to see, you know, they want to be able to review accounts and stuff like that. And that is what's happening. That's the trend that is happening in many countries around the world. And what does this mean? More confusion? As you can see this world map here, you know, in some of these countries, there is a license regime. You can apply for licenses to have crypto exchanges, crypto wallets, crypto companies. And in other places, you know, there's no licensing. For example, China, no license, you know, zilch. And then many of these countries around the world are rolling out their own central bank digital currencies. An example, China is rolling out its digital yuan. The unique thing about China's digital yuan is it is not on blockchain. All the other central bank digital currencies seem to be working on blockchain technology, but China's CBDC, in case you don't already know, is not on blockchain. They keep all the data in their servers, in their clouds, and that's how they monitor people, but it's not on blockchain. Otherwise, most of the other countries are working on blockchain central bank digital currencies. US, for example, the upcoming federal cryptocurrency regulations, we know that Biden gave an executive order recently and calling for more regulations, what Janet Yellen is saying and everybody else is saying. And so The coming regulations will impose data collection requirements and enhance monitoring on exchanges and wallets. That's what looks likely to happen in the States. In China, everything's illegal. No crypto, no exchange, not even mining. That's it, done with. China is now having a huge exodus of people from the crypto sector, funds exodus, people exodus. Many of them have moved to Dubai, people in the crypto space. Many of my friends in China, they are screaming bloody murder, and just, they got their stuff frozen, they got their accounts frozen. My friends in Huopi, for example, many of them were even called up by the police. I'm sure you know the story. Many of them were, kept for many hours, many questions were asked and all that. So it's quite tough to be in the crypto space in China right now. And where our first project is in the Philippines, and we have literally opened the doors wide open. We have legislated, we have legalized, and it's really very interesting what we're doing. I'll explain more details about what we offer, but for now, let's just say we are, crypto, DeFi is legal in the Philippines. Right now it's legal. And I know Dubai is trying to have their own cryptocurrency laws, and El Salvador is moving in the right direction and all that, but right now in our free zone is legal. Okay, so how do you create a regulatory sandbox? What are ecozones? So ecozones are basically areas, particular areas where you designate as an economic zone. And in these ecozones, basically you have incentives, you have infrastructure, you have laws that basically allow for the thriving of an economy. There are more than 5,000 ecozones around the world right now. Majority of them are in China. I think about 2,000 of them are in China, and a few hundred in the Philippines, and in many other ecozones around Asia. And I myself, I'm an economic zone specialist. I have designed, built, and arranged for investments in ecozones in Southeast Asia. My most recent success was the Chao Phraya Special Economic Zone in Myanmar, and I worked on projects in Malaysia and Indonesia, and now I'm working in the Philippines. So ecozones are really to create economic activity, to help improve the standards of living in the area around where the people are, to education, job creation. That's what ecozones are all about. And to incentivize people, it's always about tax. So what have we done in the Philippines? So we have, there are a few laws that have been passed, and these laws have created the environment that we have basically made cryptocurrency and cryptocurrency activities and these 5 activities legal in the Philippines, in our ecozone. The project is in a place called the Freeport area of Bataan. It's across from Manila Bay. It's a natural expansion from Manila. Due to the congestion of Manila, it's a natural expansion where you have the port, the manufacturing hubs and all that, all moving towards the areas that are not congested. Oz Living. So what is Oz Living? It's a digital residency and it's also physical residency. Oz, the idea of Oz came about because, the Land of Oz, the Wizard of Oz, that is an American book, an American movie. So Oz is a sandbox area within an imaginary land, but it's a sandbox area. And the tagline is that the people there are free. And another tagline for Oz is that people are happy working as they are happy playing. So Oz is about freedom and happy people. So that's why we chose the word Oz, because it's a sandbox area, happy people full of freedom. I love freedom. I'm sure you love freedom, right? That's why we're all in this space. So what is Oz about? What are we offering? For some nationalities, it's literally zero tax. For American individuals and companies, there's some level of tax reduction. We do have a lot of consultations from American tax lawyers. So, our first resident, an American resident, he actually has some tax benefits. But for most other nationalities, it's literally zero tax. And what else are we offering? Philippines is the first ecozone that we onboarded. We are also talking to many other ecozones in different countries to want to onboard them. So for now it's Philippines, but down the road, using staking our tokens can get you residency in different other places. So you can live and work in alternate countries. And then, of course, you can grow your wealth. I mean, that's what everybody's looking for, to grow their assets, to grow their wealth, especially digital assets. So it's Oz Living for you. Of course, that's for the entrepreneur and for the investor. If you are setting up a company in our free zone, it's $100,000 worth of tokens that you stake. And then you get a tax-free company when you get residency for 2 persons. And if you're an investor and you just want to come in as an individual, it's $75,000 worth of our tokens when you stake, and then you get a residency. The process for an individual will be no more than 30 days. So at the end of 30 days, the Philippine immigration, after you stake your tokens, submitted your forms, what will happen is that you will get an invitation to come to the Philippines, and you can do your biometrics, get your residency card, go and open your bank account, and then you can live off-site. So you do not necessarily have to live in our ecozone. You can live off-site and enjoy the benefits as well. So the Philippines, this is what the Philippines looks like. Some of you may have been there. It's beautiful beaches, an English-speaking community. On my first trips to the Freeport, the free zone, I was looking out for the golf courses, and I found many golf courses because I love to play golf. And this is a very idyllic, nice living environment. Cost of labor is cheap if you're setting up companies. Cost of land is cheap. Beautiful scenery, I must say. Okay, what's the benefits of Oz living? As I mentioned early on, there's reduction of taxes, or in some cases, like myself, I'm a Singaporean, zero tax. And then you grow your wealth, your digital assets, your physical assets. The next is the residency, on-site or off-site residency. I mentioned before, you could spend all your time in the Philippines if you wanted to, anywhere in the Philippines, or you live off-site in your own country. You don't even have to come. You need to come once to do your biometrics and get your residency card, and that's it. So it's on-site and off-site living. Of course, as we onboard other ecozones, we have signed MOUs, and we have discussions with many other ecozones. They may have different laws in different countries where they may require on-site, some time of on-site. But for now, Philippines you can have off-site living. And then what's next, right? Privacy protection. Now, this is very important. I'll take the example of Switzerland. Switzerland has banking privacy policies. The bank decides. In the Philippines, we have banking privacy laws. That means if a centralized exchange or a bank wants to give your information out to somebody else, you can sue them because it's a law. It's enforceable by law. So that's the good thing about privacy protection. I think Philippines is probably one of the most private places for privacy regarding banking and banking information and personal information. And then, of course, you get regulatory cover. What does this mean? Simple. DeFi is legal. You can practice you have your crypto exchanges, your crypto OTC, your DeFi, platforms, whatever it is all legal because we have legislated it in the Philippines. So this is these 5 are the key points, but actually the regulatory cover is important. So in our discussion with other ecozones around the world, regulatory cover is very important. We talk about investing infrastructure, investing in the business parks. We talk about digital transformation of these ecozones. Part of what we want back from the negotiating party is literally regulatory cover, DeFi free zones. So that's our goal, our principle, our motto, to get as many DeFi free zones around the world as possible. And I'll talk back a bit more about the Philippines. This is not exactly only one place you get this. Basically, the entire Philippines 7,000 islands. It's just many, many beautiful idyllic islands. I mean, if you like, some people like this kind of lifestyle, English-speaking community, that's might be the place for you. You know, I know all of you love Israel. I love Israel. I'm just saying, right? And then you have, you have options. I mentioned earlier, individual residency, corporate residency. The difference between was 100,000 or 75,000. Now, I'll expound that a little bit more. So this residency program is for 5 years. At the end of 5 years, you can unstake your tokens, restake them again, and extend for another 5 years. So it's not like it just ends in 5 years. It's renewable. At the same time, the number of tokens is a limited supply. So in essence, the residency is the utility of the token. And the demand and the supply is that if more people want to take up residency, the demand for the tokens will cause an upward pressure in prices. So for example, today you put in 100,000, the tokens are worth 100,000, you get 5-year residency. At the end of 5 years, let's say it goes up 10x, just hypothetical, right? It becomes $1 million. You can just take out 100,000 worth of your tokens and restake that 100,000 and keep that 900,000. So that's, you know, the growth of the value of the digital assets. So some people will ask, okay, what if the price of the tokens go down? So what we are trying to say is this. Manila is 25 million people. Our ecozone is about 700,000 people, that whole area of Bataan. If you talk about the natural expansion, there are about 1 million foreigners living and working around the Manila area. Now, if you talk about natural expansion, you talk about the demand for residency, it will only go up. So what I'm trying to say is this, it's a scarcity issue, so we have only this number of slots available. After it's gone, you need to buy the tokens from the market. That will give an upward pressure in the prices. So that's how we do our tokenomics. The utility is actually the residency. And I described our process already. You sign up an account, you buy the tokens, you deposit the tokens in a wallet, you submit your documents, KYC, and it's approved, you get your residency. Now, what about KYC? Somebody was asking me some question earlier on, right? What about KYC? Okay, so basically, as in any other country in the world, when you want to get a residency, you will need to be KYC'd by the immigration department for whether you're a terrorist, whether you're a money launderer, whether you're on a sanctions list, stuff like that, right? So it's not a different process. It's the same process as getting a residency in any other country. Once that is done, you want to open a bank account? Sure, the bank will KYC you as well. But what I say is this, the process is very easy. Residency in 30 days, bank account in less than 5 days, sometimes even 2 days. So that's how easy it is. And you want to have your crypto assets in the Philippines, like for our Chinese friends, where crypto is illegal in China, if they become a Philippine resident and they open their wallets in the Philippines, it becomes legal due to the bilateral relationship. So it's like a crypto haven or crypto sanctuary for people in places where crypto is illegal. Advantages of digital assets, well, need I say more? Now, if you are going through a normal residency program, like today I want to, without talking about tokens, today I want to be a resident in the Philippines. What do I need to do? I need to buy a property. Then I apply for residency after buy a property of a certain value. And if I decide, no, I want to move to Vanuatu in the South Pacific, and I don't want to be in the Philippines anymore, well, I need to sell my property, then I need to invest in Vanuatu, right? So Vanuatu is one of the places that we are working on. But if you're using, tokens, it's so easy. I stake my tokens in the Philippines. 5 years later, I unstake them. I decide I want to go somewhere else. I unstake my tokens and I restake them in another of our ecozones. So it's so much simpler. You don't have the hassle of buying and selling properties or setting up companies or stuff like that. It's a very simple process. And it makes a lot of sense as well. More advantages, of the digital assets. So you get your residency through cryptocurrency rather than through buying properties, buying shares in companies and stuff like that. In Singapore, it's about buying shares in companies. So it's, everywhere is different. I'm just giving you some applications that were successful. So this is our first individual application, a Singaporean. He wanted to start life do stuff in the Philippines. So he's this like been there, done that. I'm giving you real life cases. He's successfully. So and after he got his residency, he's getting his dad to be resident as well. Another successful applicant is an American, Dr. Emil. Right, he's a successful corporate applicant. So he moved his some of his corporate holdings to the Philippines. So this is an American that is literally enjoying some level of tax reduction. So that there is a market for this, not just for Americans or Chinese, but for Singaporeans as well. So with that, I come at the end of the presentation, and I'd like to open the floor for any questions and answers. Any Q&A, any questions? Anybody? Yes?
I'm Alex.
Hi, Alex.
What about opening a bank account? If I register as legal entity, can I open a bank account in the Philippines?
Yes. Yes, you can. In fact, we do not discriminate at all. We are working with several Philippine banks, local banks that issue credit cards as well. So once you are a resident, we can assist you with bank account opening. We'll bring you to so in our eco zones, all the banks are there, all the banks are there, and some international banks as well, but and we will assist you to have a bank account opened. And in some cases, if you have proof of income, your credit cards as well. So it's quite easy. Yep.
I think not about my personal income. I think about company. For example, my company will buy crypto in holding Singapore, for example. What the bank will say if we will see an invoice transfer of USD for buying crypto.
Okay, so if you want to have funds to buy crypto, yes, that's okay. So the whole our whole free zone is crypto friendly. So the banks there would do crypto transactions and all that. Yes. Okay. Now there's something else as well with regards to crypto, right? So because you are a resident, and as a resident you will have an address that they can mail you to. So we are talking to a credit card issuer that can issue credit card based on crypto deposits. So that's very interesting. So I think maybe in the next 1-2 months we'll get there. So credit cards on crypto. So I think not just crypto transactions, but even credit cards on crypto deposits. Yes.
Are you considering that accepting stable coins as method of payment from the local merchants in the regular?
Absolutely. So Oz is developing its own stable coin. I'm developing my own stable coin. So yes, absolutely. Absolutely. A stable coin it will have to form some level of backbone. It may not be the only backbone, but it will form some level of backbone. Yes, absolutely. Yes, please.
Where is the liquidity? Where can you buy tokens?
Sorry?
Where can you buy tokens?
You can now buy from our website. We are going through a process of there will be a slow incremental increase in prices. Right now it's increased a few times already. We have not listed yet. We have offers to list on several exchanges already, but we just want to find the right strategy. We should be listing very soon, but even then you can buy from our website anytime. Any other questions? Yeah, Oz.finance. Oz.finance, very easy. Yes? No? No more questions? Anybody, any other? Yes, please. Okay, so in the Philippines, what we are offering is residency, not passport, just ID, right? In 2 of the other eco zones that we are negotiating with, they offer passports. To get a Philippine passport is a different thing altogether. That one is a different process. We also do that, but it's not what we're really offering here. Yeah. Yes, please.
Before you talk about staking by fiat, like
The value of the tokens. Value of the tokens. The value of the tokens at that point in time. So that's at the end of 5 years, yes. But for the 5 years, it's at that point in time. So if the value goes up, then you can stake less tokens for the next round. Yeah, based on the economic development of the Freeport area of Bataan, it's almost mathematically impossible for demand to drop because of the natural expansion from the Manila Bay area, from Manila to Bataan for the economic development it's mathematically very difficult to drop. So that's what I'm saying. Any other questions? Anybody? I'll just maybe if there are no questions, I'll just add one more food for thought, and that is what we are trying to do really here is because we believe in DeFi freedom, we believe in the choice of individuals for financial freedom, for financial anonymity in some sense, right? So we are working very hard with many other ecozones around the world. I'm talking to some of them. My partners are talking to some of them. 6 of us are founders, and basically, if anybody has any other ecozone that they want to help us, introduce to us, to start negotiations, we are more than happy. You can come and connect with me. My name card is right at the table outside there. You can come and connect with me anytime you want. Basically, we want to help as many regions legalize crypto and DeFi as much as possible. On another note as well, I'm an economic zone specialist, and so our value proposition is very simple. We bring in physical infrastructure, we bring in business park investors, we help you with the digital transformation, and in return, you create a DeFi free zone within your country, within your state. You know, that's our value proposition, and that's where we come from. Philippines is the first, but it's hopefully by Q3 we have one more, Q4 we got another one, so more choices. And at the same time, we are also looking for partners, technology partners. We are also looking for long-term investors to help with the digital transformation of these countries. And so these are the few things that we're looking for. And if there are no more questions, I'd like to thank everybody for coming to listen to me. Thank you very much. And you can look for me anytime. Thank you very much. Thank you.